Hi, welcome to our Wellness Talks at Home, presented by Anne and myself. Joaria, we are part of the mental wellness team, and today we'll be discussing self-care and mindfulness. Okay, so let's start with the statement and acknowledgement of traditional land. I wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this island.
So, before we start, we know it might have been a really long day for you sitting at the desk in front of the screen. So, first, let's stretch our body, hand, neck, and hopefully, we have a relaxing and fun time together in the next hour.
Okay, let's start with the objectives. We have three main objectives for today. The first is to understand the importance of self care and why we need it as part of our daily routine. Second, each person has their own method of self care, and we hope that you can perhaps find activities that you'll be interested in practicing moving forward. Finally, we hope to walk away with an action plan that you could implement in your daily routine. We'll be providing you with a template for self care activities. However, you can be creative and design your own board as you wish. Okay, so here we have a quick activity to reflect on what self care means to you. Please take a moment to answer this question.
We hope that you had a moment to reflect on yourself on what self care means. So, now let's look at the different sources, the definition of self care. The common point of all these definitions is that they all focus on the activities that you do routinely to maintain your balanced, healthy lifestyle and healthy eating. So, moving on, why do we need to self care? We need to self care because many aspects of our life require time and energy. Such as us as students, we need to focus on studying, so academically. There's also the social side and also the work side that need our time and energy. Self care helps us to prevent feeling burnout and train how us recharge the body and the mind to be the most productive and the most healthiest person. It also allows us to live to achieve more life, keep our mental health in check, and be the best version of ourselves. However, it's important for all of us to remember that self care is different for all of us. You can learn from all the methods, but choose the one that suits you the best. You will hear us presenting this point many times and also reiterating it. We're also here to provide you information and not the expert to give you the specific case by case recommendations. So choose the activities that best for yourself.
Self care can be classified into six or eight groups. Taking a holistic approach means that we consider different types of self care and how they are all interconnected and how they benefit the different dimensions of yourself. We'll be going over the most important types of self care that students often find. Okay, so the first is physical self care, which has different types. For example, taking a relaxing bath or shower, keeping hydrated by drinking plenty of water, eating healthy and eating enough, uh, getting enough sleep, which is about 8 hours, being physically active, and trying to minimize screen time, which I know is especially difficult these days, but we can perhaps set a time limit or a specific bedtime. Psychological self care. So we could perhaps learn new things, engage in intrinsic or sort of internal motivation, practice meditation such as yoga, and practice mindfulness or any creative activities that you perhaps enjoy.
The third type of self care is emotional self care. Some activities are bullet journaling, write down your thoughts in a journal, unfollow, mute, or like mute the toxic account on social media to prevent the effect of negative emotional on you. Refrain from being overly critical of yourself. Moving on to the social self care. So, here are some recommendations. We understand that this is a physical distancing period. However, we can still connect with others people and take this time to connect with family, with friends through digital media or using social media in moderation. And the last type that we're presenting is financial self-care. Financial self care is when you create a budget, be conscious of your spending and weakness, and work on reducing it. Make room in your budget for your occasional treats and set goals to save up, which is really important. Setting aside emergency fund and then thinking about the long term plan.
So, we have discussed what self care is and the different types of self care activities that we may practice, but we can also discuss what self care is not. Self care is not a sign of weakness, so you are never weak for taking time to take care of yourself. And actually, prioritizing your self care is important to ensure your mental and physical health. Self care is not only for some people. This means that it doesn't matter who you are, caring for yourself is always important. Feelings of being run down and exhausted don't discriminate, and neither does the need for self care. Self care is not the same for everyone. So, your self care routine is likely to be very different from your friends or from your family members, and that is okay. And self care is not something that we should be quiet about. We need to keep talking about self care and exchange self care techniques to start a conversation about it. And it is our responsibility to look after ourselves and to look after each other. We should also discuss what it means by Instagrammable self care. So there's a quote by Dr. Perpetua Neal, which says, self care is fetishized and has become Instagrammable. People think that there are checkboxes to tick and standards to upkeep. So often we like to show the world what we're up to using our social media platforms, such as by posting pictures, videos, or documenting and hashtagging. And this even applies to our self care. However, this implies that there's a correct way to do self care or there's a perfect routine. The truth is, there is no perfect routine, and your self care does not have to look like anyone else's. So it's also always important to ensure that we are focused on the moment and we are tuning out to social pressures when we are practicing our method of self care.
So now, take around 5 minutes to make your plan. We hope that when you finish the sessions today, you will have something concrete and actionable to you. And if you're looking for ideas for your next group call with friends, so how about doing the bingo at home about self care? We hope that after the session, you can spread the positive energy and good influence on the people around you. We hope this is also a good way for you and your friends to connect and to get to know each other more. It could even do the same activities together later on, maybe after the bingo.
Okay, so just like before, please take a moment to reflect on the following questions. What is one thing that made you happy as a child? Think outside the box. Number two, set a goal. What is one self care activity that you will practice starting today? Number three, do you think Instagrammable self care is harmful? Why or why not? There is no right or wrong answer for this question. So you may take 5 minutes to answer this question. Okay, so here are some links to various websites that promote mental health, mindfulness, and self care, whether it is through art, creativity, or even providing direct mental health support. So you may copy these links for your own reference. Next, here are some mindfulness and self care apps that we recommend. Okay, so here we have the Health and Wellness Centers, the Student Center, which is located in SL 270. It is a place for students to book appointments with a doctor, nurse, or counselor, and basically addressing any health issue or seeking mental health support. The phone number is listed above if you want to call or email to book an appointment. Thank you for listening and see you at our next Wellness Talks at Home. We hope you have a good day.